What's good, fam? Thanks for joining me for another GoatFormat video. So today I have a match with Aldersoe and Tlaloc. I'm not too sure who Tlaloc is, but Aldersoe I've had on my channel a few times. I think about 3 times I posted videos with him. 2 of them are matches. One of them is actually a deck profile, which he was actually very kind to give me his deck list so that I can share it with you guys. In that deck profile video, there's also a link in the description that has the download link for your for Dueling Book, so you guys can download this deck and go ahead and play it yourself. I've been a big fan of Aldersoe for a while now and this deck, so I wanted to go ahead and profile it for you guys one more time. Let's see, Aldersoe has an 1168 rating, which puts him on about top 25 on the GOAT ladder on Dueling Book. Tlaloc has an 844, which does put him in the top 200, but I think anything lower than 850 or 860 is 150 and less. But regardless, he's in the top 200. Let's check out this match, see who's going to go first. So Aldersoe is going to win the rock, paper, scissors. He's going to choose to go first. Let's see these opening hands. So Aldersoe's opening hand is Death Koala, Gravekeeper, Spy, Swords, Mind Control, and Bazoo the Soul Eater. Tlaloc's opening hand is Call the Haunted, Wind Blast, Metamorphosis, Thunder Dragon, and Chaos Sorcerer. From the look of the hands, I can probably tell that he's playing Tlaloc anyways. Tlaloc's playing some kind of Chaos Control. I only say that because of the Metamorphosis and the Call the Haunted. A lot of people don't play Call anymore, and you usually only play Metamorphosis if you're playing some kind of scapegoat deck. If you guys can't tell what Aldersoe's playing, go ahead and check out the deck profile that I did on him. I'll go ahead and link that in the description below. What he's playing is basically a Bazoo burn deck. So he does main deck Death Koalas to try to get some kind of cheap burn damage in, and then he plays Bazoo with Dimension Fusions in the main deck so that he can go ahead and OTK his opponent. Game 2, he takes all that out, and then he goes right into burn. And we'll see that in this match. But let's see what the 6th card is for Aldersoe. 6th card is Gravekeeper, Spies. So he can go ahead and set Death Koala, try to get the burn damage now, and then pass over. The reason for that is because you really want to hold on to your Spy and want it to wall up the board. You could technically Dimension Fusion the Koalas whenever you draw into it. Same thing with the Spies, but at least you get all 3 of them out at one shot. And you really want Gravekeeper, Spy to flip, and then you get the plus off of that so that it can just hold the board down. So I think he's just going to set Koala and pass. Tlaloc draws into a Sangan. So I wouldn't necessarily swing with this Sangan. I've mentioned this before, back when people were just playing GOAT control. It was pretty safe to swing with Sangan. People weren't playing Dakochis, they weren't playing Gravekeeper, Spies. So it was either Magician of Faith, another Sangan, maybe Reaper, maybe DD Warrior Lady was the worst case scenario, and Magical Merchant. Sangan can deal with all that, minus the DD Warrior Lady, obviously. So I wouldn't necessarily swing with it. I might set it on the field, play Thunder Dragons, and maybe set Wing Blast and pass over. But let's see what he's going to do here. So he's going to search the Thunder Dragons out. Okay, and he summons Sangan, and he passes, which is fine. So Aldersoe draws into Ring. So I'm assuming he's going to flip this because his opponent has 6 cards. And it's not necessarily the max you can do, but it's averagely the max that you can do with this card. So he flips it over, deals 24. He's going to swing for 100 now. And then his opponent grabs a Sinister Serpent, which is good because it basically completes his hand. Now he can go ahead and set the Spy and set the Ring if he really wants to. Let's see what he does here. So he sets Spy, sets Ring, passes over. Tlaloc draws into Mimic. So he knows he's playing against a burn deck. Maybe he wants to get this off ASAP. He has the Chaos Sorcerer. He could technically just summon the Sorcerer and banish this, and then set Wing Blast with the Serpent. And then he can even set the Mimic if he wants to and just pass over. But let's see what his play is. He could also set the Call of the Haunted if he wants, because his opponent has a back row. But let's see what he's going to do here. So he banishes Light and Dark, drops Sorcerer. He's going to banish the Koala. And now he's going to activate Metamorphosis for a Ryu Senshi, which wasn't a bad play. His opponent's playing Burn. Or at least he saw Death Koala, so he thinks his opponent's playing Burn. So I'm assuming this is going to swing into the Spy. So he sets everything first, swings into a Spy, which wasn't a bad play because he was basically reading Morphing Jar there. Or maybe not reading it, but he was preparing for a Morphing Jar. His opponent, Aldersoe, gets another Spy. He's just going to pass over now. Draws himself into a Sangan. So let's see. He could. I mean, his opponent has a Metamorphosis, so what really could that be? I guess it could be a Dekochi. He doesn't have another spy in case it's another spy. So maybe he wants to hold on to this mind control. He could just set the Sangan and pass over. But let's see what his play is going to be. So he does set Sangan, passes over. Tlaloc draws into a Metamorphosis, so I think this Mimic's going to get flipped up now. And he's going to draw himself into a Mystic Tomato. So now he could go ahead. Well, there's two things he could do. He could go ahead and tribute for Thunder Dragon and then drop Balter and swing at the face down. Or he could just go ahead and Metamorphosis for a Restrict and then summon Thunder Dragon. I think the former is probably the best play to do. Let's see what his play is going to be. So he's going to activate Call the Haunted on Sork. I'm assuming this is going to banish the Spy. And then meta the Sork into, I forgot this guy's name, Darkblade the Dragon Knight. I don't see why he did this. He can't, I guess, just to get over the Spy here. And then he's going to swing at the face down and swing for 100. But let's see. Okay, summons Tomato also. Swings at the Sangan, so he's going to get in for 21. He's going to search for a Cyberjar, which is going to kill all this stuff. So he should have probably just sacked with Thunder Dragon and then dropped the Balter there, because then he would have Balter and Senshi. This trap card, he doesn't know it's a trap, but this trap card wouldn't have done anything to that. And then he would have put Aldersoe in a bad position. But he gets to swing for 21 and passes over to Aldersoe. Aldersoe draws into Jar of Greed. So he could set the Cyber Jar and activate Swords just as a precaution. Also, you can set the Jar of Greed. Besides that, I don't see anything else. You can't really set the Spy because you don't have anything else to search. So I think the play is Cyber Jar Mind Control. I'm sorry, Cyber Jar Swords and pass. But let's see what he does here. So that's exactly what he does, and then he sets the Jar also. Passes over to Tlaloc, draws into a Snatch Steal. He has this Wing Blast, so he could try to stall this Cyber Jar out a turn. But let's see what he does. He doesn't have many plays here. Okay, so he drops the Mimic level 3 from the deck, plays Wing Blast, and now passes over. He draws into a Cyber Jar, so this is just going to go off anyways. Then draws into a Spirit Reaper. See, this is one of those times where Regeki Break is a better card, because you just want this off the board. You don't want it to like stack and then your opponent sets it again. I do get that Wing Blast is better situational. You know, when you're in control already, you can keep your opponent on the same turn, and it basically locks the game over. Locks the game down, rather. I'm sorry, guys. Also, when your opponent summons 1,000 as Restrict, you can just put that to the extra deck and they don't get a Dark in the graveyard. So I get that. But in this case, it was more important for that to be a Regeki Break. But that's situational. Anyways, he passes over. Reaper's drawn by Tlaloc. Again, there's not much he can do here. He could just say go. Gets his Serpent back. I wouldn't set anything. Okay, so he sets the Cyber Jar. He didn't have to do that. I mean, not Cyber Jar. He sets a Snatch Steal. Passes over. Aldersoe draws into Delinquent Duo. So this is good. Well, I guess it's not good. If this was a Morphing Jar, it'd be good. But he's going to go ahead and flip the Cyber Jar now. Everything gets destroyed. He does put a Magician of Faith on the board, which is going to be interesting because he has a Mind Control. Let's see what he gets off of this. Okay, so Aldersoe gets a Heavy Storm, Graceful Ceasefire, Premature, and a True Nade. So those are all amazing cards. Tlaloc grabs himself Knock, Spy, a BLS, another Knock, and a Magician of Faith. Let's see here. Obviously, he doesn't have guys to put on the board. The Faith's going to go on the board, probably face down. I don't think Tlaloc knows that he's main decking any Mind Controls. So let's see what happens here. Let's fast forward this just a little bit. So he puts the Faith in face down defense position. So I'm assuming he's going to Graceful now, especially because he has a Mind Control and the Faith's face down. Let's see what happens. He might True Nade first. Okay, so he has a Jar. So he might True Nade, chain Jar, or just activate Jar right off the bat, and then activate True Nade, and then go ahead and Graceful Charity. Let's see how this play is going to go. So Trunade, Chain Jar. Gets himself another Trunade. Now activate Graceful. Gets Bazoo, Desk Koala, and a Jar of Greed. That was, no. Yeah, and the Jar of Greed was the next card. So he chucks Bazoo, and he could chuck the Spy. I mean, he doesn't have a Dimension Fusion play, so that doesn't even matter there. Let's see what he chucks next. He chucks the Spy. I'm assuming Mind Control is going to come down now for another Graceful. Gets BLS, Dimension Fusion, and Jar of Greed. So he doesn't have the light just yet. But let's see. Something tells me this could still be game. Chuck Desk Koala. Oh, he has a ring. So Chuck Desk Koala, maybe Chuck Duo. Let's see what he does here. He has a ring and a ceasefire, so this is definitely game. Okay, chucks the BLS, activates Premature for Bazoo. And then I guess he's going to drop the other Bazoo. Yeah, so he drops the other Bazoo. That's 5k by itself, and then ceasefire or ring is game. So that's 5k. He's going to Giant Trunade. Okay, so he picks up the Spy. Okay, so this is game right here. Obviously, he banishes 2. Trunade's the Premature, then he's going to Premature the Spy and just swing for game. And let's see how game 2 is going to go. Okay, so Tlaloc's going to go first this game. Opening hand is Graceful Charity, Torrential Tribute, BLS, Magician of Faith, and Tomato. Aldersoe's opening hand is Koala, Trunade, Cyber Jar, Gravekeeper Spy, and Dimension Fusion. So it doesn't look like he actually sided into the burn. 6 card for Tlaloc is Karibo. Okay, so this is interesting. So people sided Karibo against Cyberstein in 06 format. I'm assuming since he saw Bazoo and he saw Cyber Jar, he probably thinks his opponent's playing some kind of Bazoo return deck, which makes it that Karibo is not that bad of a card. So I can understand this. So let's see. He could set Tomato and pass. If he really wants to dig deep because he thinks he's playing some kind of OTK deck, he could Graceful Charity now to see his options. But in my opinion, maybe just set Tomato and pass. Let's see what he's going to do here. Aldersoe draws into a Dimension Fusion. So he could just set Koala again and just pass over. He doesn't have to set Cyber Jar just yet. Okay, so he sets Spy this time. Passes over to Tlaloc, draws into a Dark Mimic. Am I saying his name right? Tlaloc? I guess so. Yeah, I think I'm saying that right. Tlaloc. So anyways, he draws into a Mimic level 1. Again, he could just set the Mimic and pass. There's really not a reason to Graceful unless he wants to dig for something. But let's see what he does. So he Gracefuls for Snatch, Thunder Dragon, and Tsukuyomi. Maybe you want to get rid of the Mimic, and I'm trying to think. Mimic and I guess Karibo. I mean, if you think you're playing an OTK deck, you want to hold on to the Karibo. But let's see what he chucks. So he chucks a Torrential, which is actually the other card I was thinking. But holding the Torrential just makes his hand look better. So that's why I thought he was going to keep it. And now he's going to obviously play Thunder Dragon. So now he can banish Light and Dark and then just go ahead and banish this face down. And swing with Tomato and then set Spy and pass over. And that's going to put Aldersoe in a bad situation. Let's see how he's going to handle this. So flip Tomato, BLS comes down. And then the fade's going to get set, I'm assuming. Passes over. Aldersoe draws into Jar of Greed. So there's not really much you could do here. This BLS is basically killing this whole game. I mean, he could set Jar and then wait a turn, but let's see what he does here. So he sets everything so that he doesn't get swung in for 3k. Tlaloc draws Heavy Storm. So I mean, you could heavy so this Faith doesn't get torrentialed, and then just flip Faith, and that's what. But let's see what he does. So he banishes first, and then flips Faith, gets back the Graceful Charity, plays the Graceful, Mirror Force, Karibo, and Reaper. So now he could chuck one of these Karibos, right? He could chuck one of these Karibos. No, okay, so he has Thunder Dragons in his hand, so he's just going to chuck the Thunder Dragons. And then now heavy if you want to, and then summon Reaper. Okay, so he summons the Tsukiyomi, puts everything face down. That already banished, right? So that can't swing. Sets Mirror Force, yeah, that banished. Passes over, Aldersoe draws into Bazoo, yeah, so he can't really do anything here. This game's basically locked down. Yeah, okay, so Aldersoe is gonna go first this game. So opening hand, so here you can tell that he sided into burn. But opening hand for Aldersoe is Sangan, Ring of Destruction, Tri-Virus, Ojamatrio, Spy. Tlaloc's opening hand is Snatch Steel, Karibo, Mystic Tomato, Dark Mimic level 1 and 3. 6 card for Aldersoe is Mind Control. So let's see if he sets this Spy with Ojamatrio and just passes over. So Sangan, Ojamatrio, and passes. Tlaloc draws into Nox, so Nox is going to come down. And then maybe he could start manning up with the Tomato unless he wants to draw a card off of this Mimic. But let's see what he's going to do with this. So he mans up a Tomato. He already summoned Tomato. What's he doing? Passes over. Aldersoe draws Spy. So the Spy is going to go down. The Ring can go down also because if he heavies, he could just ring this. So let's see what's going to happen here. Passes over. He doesn't set the Ring. Tlaloc draws into Chaos Sorcerer. So he's just stuck swinging at this now. He's going to grab himself another Spy. So now he's going to set Mimic. I don't know why he didn't set the other one. I don't know why he thinks this is going to die in battle. Aldersoe draws Desert Sunlight. So now I get set Ring of Destruction. I mean, you could have Ojamatrio here. Make sure your opponent doesn't summon anything else and just set Ring and pass. So he Mind Controls the face down. Plays Trio. Yeah, and gives him back his Mimic after setting Ring, I think. Yeah. Tlaloc draws into Knock. That's not going to do anything. So everything goes into defense mode. Aldersoe draws into Thunder Dragon. Pitches it for 2 Thunder Dragons. And just pass. Okay, sets the other Spy, which is fair. Passes over. Tlaloc draws into Pot of Greed. Nobleman comes down, then Pot draws Ring and Chaos Sork. Yeah, just set Ring and pass. Aldersoe draws into Jar of Greed. Sets it and passes. Tlaloc draws into Breaker, which you can't summon. Passes. Aldersoe draws into Just Desserts. So you could go ahead and Jar of Greed now here and see what you draw. Draws into BLS, so set Just Desserts and pass. Tlaloc draws into a Magician of Faith, which again can't do anything. So maybe set Snatch Steel and say go. Okay, so he pitches the Faith and just passes over. This Karibo's pretty dead now. Let's see what Aldersoe draws. Draws himself. This is me, by the way, guys. GringingGoatFormat. So when just real quick, I don't watch these matches, so I'll put my screen name on there and I'll click off, and then once it's over, I'll just collect the. I'll just go ahead and collect the replay. But anyways, Aldersoe draws into Koala. So he's just gonna set Koala and pass. Okay, sets the Desert Sunlight with that. Tlaloc draws into a Torrential Tribute. So set Torrential, pass. Aldersoe draws Ceasefire. So I'm sure he has some type of game here. Yeah, it seems like he has some kind of game. He could set the Ceasefire and pass. Tlaloc draws into another Faith. So I'm guessing this is just a waiting game. He's going to check the Faith now. So he plays the Ring. So Boss of Famas joined this match. If you guys don't know who Boss of Famas is, he's the original DB grinder. He's actually the reason why I started doing these matches, these match commentaries. So shout out to him. I'll actually link his channel in the description below also, so you guys can go ahead and check him out. He does regular dueling book rated, which is current format. So go ahead, guys, and check him out, and he'll be in the description below. Shout out to Boss of Famas, the DB grinder. But anyways, Tlaloc activates Ring of Destruction here. Let's see what he targets. I'm guessing he's going to target... Well, honestly, I guess he's going to target one of his guys. I don't know if he targeted just yet. Okay, so he just activated Ring, and then he's going to point out a token. Oh, sorry about that, guys. Oh, so this is my Facebook channel. Yo, so this was a huge mistake. I did not mean to click on this, right? But while I'm here, guys, I'm giving away this Call of the Haunted, which is an Italian. This is an Italian Lost Art Call of the Haunted. It's so funny that I clicked on this. This is an Italian Lost Art Call of the Haunted. I'll be giving this away to one of you guys. All you have to do is go on Facebook. The description is in the link is in the description below. Go ahead and check out my Facebook channel. On here, I'll be able to talk to you guys about anything that I'm doing with my channel. I'll be posting my videos on here. I'll let you guys know when there's a giveaway or anything like that. Also, like this video, guys, for that, and subscribe to this channel. You have to be a subscriber, and you have to be a public subscriber for me to go ahead and enter you onto the giveaway. But yeah, that was super crazy that I clicked on this. That was a huge mistake. But let's get back to this match, which is right here. Okay, so so he's gonna activate Ring of Destruction and target a token. Let's see what's gonna happen here. So Aldersoe says he has a response. Okay, so he doesn't respond. He says you're okay. So he minuses 300. Now his opponent summons a Mimic level 1. I guess he's going to activate this Torrential Tribute now. Activates Torrential Tribute. And then here his opponent can start chaining stuff. I'm sure he's going to chain the Just Desserts and the Ceasefire and the Desert Sunlight. And he could chain the Ring too. So this is going to be 3K for the Ceasefire. And then 25 for the Just Desserts. So that's 55 there. 55. 61. 61 plus 8 in the ring. This is actually game here if he does this the right way. Let's see what he's gonna do. And he's gonna take 600 off of these tokens. So this is game here. So he's gonna activate Ceasefire as Chainlink 2, Chainlink 3 Just Desserts, Chainlink 4 Desert Sunlight. So he's gonna take 25 from the Just Desserts, take 3K from the Ceasefire. Leaves him at 16. Yeah, and then in a brand new chain, Koala is gonna go off. And this is game, and he takes 600 from the tokens. So this is game, guys. So yeah, man. So that was the game with Aldersoe. Big shout out to Aldersoe for being so supportive of my channel. I know the first video that I made with him, I was pretty critical because there were some times he could have gone for game. And I kind of called him out for it. But bro, big shout outs to you for always being supportive of my channel. There's also a match that I'm gonna post with Aldersoe. It's not a commentary, but I'll go ahead and actually post the match link in the description below. I tried to do a commentary for this match. When I did it, I realized my microphone wasn't working, and I don't really like to go back and then check out and then do it again once I've already seen the match. So I'll just go ahead and post that in the description below for you guys to check out. Guys, if there was any other plays that you guys would have done differently that I didn't catch, like I always say, please let me know in the description. I'm sorry. Please let me know in the comments down below. Also, before I say that, like this video, guys, and subscribe to this channel. Because that always helps me, okay? If you want to help support this channel, you can check out my TCG Player link, which is in the description below. If you go ahead and buy cards from TCG Player, they won't charge you anything extra. I'll just get a kickback from that. If you want to go the extra mile and help me out, you can check out my merch link, which is in the description below. Get yourself some GringingGoatFormat tees like this one or like some other designs that I have on there. And I'll see everybody on the next one, all right? Peace.